3 years ago today, a former student stormed into Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland and opened fire, killing 17 people. More than a dozen others were wounded, and in the weeks that followed, several student survivors dealing with the trauma and grief of that day started the March for Our Lives movement, lobbying lawmakers to push for gun control legislation. The accused shooter remains in jail as he waits for trial. Thanks for being with us tonight. I'm Alina Machado. Today, cities across South Florida are holding events to honor the lives of the 14 students and 3 staff members who died on that tragic day. Tonight, we have team coverage of those events from Parkland to Fort Lauderdale. And we begin with NBC6's Laura Rodriguez in Parkland, where they are honoring the lives lost. Laura.
Yes, the city of Parkland is hosting this commemoration ceremony. They are calling it a day of love and remembrance. You can see there are dozens of people here already. Things about to get started in just a few minutes. I'm told spiritual leaders will be honoring the 17 victims and are the first to step up to the stage. Support services are available to the community this evening here at Pine Trails Park, and there are display boards scattered throughout the park with photos of the victims and space to write a loving message. Therapy dogs are also here on site with the intent to help people feel a little better. Today, in honor of Marjory Stoneman Douglas Remembrance Day, the governor has also ordered flags flown at half staff. Many of the people we spoke to say this tragedy had a major impact on their community, and Valentine's Day has just never been the same.
We celebrate like the day before or the day after, but the 14th, it just feels like it's always about MSD strong.
And the impact of that has been felt still for years, that we're still dealing with, all of the loss that day. So this is definitely, an important day for our community.
The mood out here today, definitely a somber tone. People are a little bit more quiet, subdued, but you can definitely feel this sense of community, this sense of support for all of those families who lost their loved ones 3 years ago today. Reporting live in Parkland, I'm Laura Rodriguez, NBC6 News.
Laura, thank you. Our team coverage continues now in Fort Lauderdale, where the victims were also honored today. NBC6 reporter Derek Lewis has a father's grief 3 years after losing his daughter.
While it's a day to remember for so many, the pain does not go away for Tony Montalto.
For our family, it's not much different than any other day.
His daughter, Gina Rose Montalto, a 14-year-old freshman, died in the shooting 3 years ago today.
Every day we're faced with the loss of our bright and bubbly daughter.
He spoke at a memorial in Fort Lauderdale where people came out to write messages to the victims and some to release pain.
From the very beginning, we've been blessed by amazing support from throughout Broward County and the country and even the world.
Tony does not want the support to stop today.
After you spend time remembering the victims, tomorrow, wake up and let your elected leaders know that we need to make our schools safer.
Tony tells me now he's fighting to make a difference for his son.
We think about her every day, but we're grateful to still have our son. We're grateful to have each other.
Fort Lauderdale's mayor also attended the event, calling for a change to gun laws. In Fort Lauderdale, I'm Derek Lewis, NBC6 News.
And in Coral Springs, a local organization is focusing on reflection and healing. NBC6's Natalia Ortiz gives us a look at today's wellness event and how others in need of help can benefit from the services provided by this nonprofit organization.
Love is the theme of the day in more ways than one. In a sense, it's apropos that the anniversary of the MSD massacre lands on Valentine's Day because it's given the community a chance to reflect on the love they have for the victims and for each other.
Today we are filled with pain and grief, but also with love.
It's a hard day for residents of Parkland. Today marks the 3rd year of the massacre at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School.
Meadow, Pollock.
During a memorial event, each of the 17 victims' names were called. A candle was lit in their honor, and 17 doves were released outside a community center named Eagles Haven, dedicated to them. Sarah Lerner, an English teacher at MSD, attended the event with her daughter Hannah. She's processing the pain by making art.
It's always a heavy day. We think about the ones we lost. We think about the impact that it's had on not just our lives, but on the community at large. And it's important to honor the ones we lost, but also take care of ourselves.
Like beads coming together on a string, members of this community continue to gather to grieve, heal, and learn ways to prevent it from happening again. The assistant program director at Eagles Haven, which opened about a year after the mass shooting, says they intend to do just that.
We have helped about 3,000 community members focus on wellness and rediscovering hope. This has been an instrumental part of providing change to the community. And
I just want to honor
Christine Hunchofsky, Parkland's mayor at the time and a current state representative, says the pain their community suffered will go on for years, which is why Eagles Haven, which provides counseling and connects people with social services, is so key.
This is something that the people who experience this, it will stay with them forever. And it's just about finding a way to manage through that pain and trauma.
The leaders of Eagles Haven tell me that as long as you live in Coral Springs or Parkland, anybody who's suffered any sort of trauma of any age can come to them and they will lead you to the right social services or help that you need free of charge. In Coral Springs, Natalia Ortiz, NBC 6 News.